So on January 12, Harold M. Brethwood Secondary School in Brampton, there was a French teacher who showed an offensive cartoons of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to a Muslim student in a class. Asked a student if he condones the murder of Charlie Hebdo, since he's the one who made the cartoon, and also told the student that all the Muslims are terrorists, showed him another slide and told them that, you know what, these ladies are Muslim slaves. Like, that's what the cartoon, the sketch said, that there were 4 ladies, of African descent, wearing Muslim attire, pregnant, and said that, you know what, these Muslim ladies are Boko Haram's sex slaves, and we want our welfare checks. And she made this statement in front of the whole class that Muslims are terrorists, Muslims are rapists. So she didn't mention anything about, any particular group or a person. She just said altogether the whole religion, rapist and terrorists. And obviously the student was panicked, and he didn't know how to react to it. And obviously he was also ashamed being targeted for being only Muslim in the class. And we got this information from the father of the student. He reached out to us recently, and he said that, this happened on January 12th, and he's been reaching out to different organizations, and nobody is taking any steps to, figure out the solution for it. As per the father, he reached out to the school principal, teachers, superintendent, and nothing really was there to avail. Recently, we put a video out of him, which has collected a lot of views, and it had created frenzy and anger in people in general, like Muslims especially, and then Canadians, that why our schooling system is allowing this kind of heinous acts in the schools. But nonetheless, the father reached out to us, and he said, then would you kindly remove the video? And we were like, what? And he's like, you know what, it's for the security and well-being for my son. What I think he's being pressurized by other organizations or perhaps institutes. And he said that, we want to get to some sort of resolution, so this video may hinder. So I'm not sure like how much truth is there to this, but as per expect, and obviously we want the well-being of the kid, and we want the solution for this act. As a goodwill gesture, we took the video off. But have you ever thought, or just wondered this thing right now, what I'm considering, that this happened on January 12th, I believe, and now we are already in May. So until we put the video out, there was no noise about it. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was interested in solving the issue until the father came out to us. As for the history of CPN, in Waterloo, there was an incident where there was a young kid, a little child, I think 5-6-year-old, was tied up to the chair and taped, and then he was locked in a dark room. The incident happened on October 21st, and there was no action taken until November 7th, when we raised the voice. Again, the same thing happened in Montreal, when there was a, underage kid was arrested by police. And then obviously the French police apologized afterwards, and they said that it was a mishap. But again, until we put the video out in May, there was no noise about it, and there was no action taken. Same thing happened in Woodland Secondary School. The incident happened in December 2022, where the girl in hijab was beaten up by other Islamophobic students. We put the video out on January 16 and raised the voice about it. And until we raised the voice about it, there was no actions being taken. And then when we talk about this, the Brampton issue, it happened in January 12th, and until on May 8th, we came out and raised the noise about it and made the voice about it. There was no actions. So have you ever wondered why does it keep happening? One of the things we have seen in common as a CPN when we try to support the community is the parents. Somehow they get scared because they get pressurized by some institutions, organizations, and once they fear for the safety of their child and their self, they prefer to back out. And if this thing is going to keep happening, as long as we're going to keep pushing these things behind the doors, these are general public issues. These incidents are happening in tax-paying schools. Like, we pay the taxes for these schools, right? So we need to know the resolution, because I'm, as a concerned parent, I am worried that this may happen to my kids at school too as well, or to your kids at school. There were various other incidents which happened, Islamophobic incidents happening in high schools. I'm just going to read them out here. March 3rd, 2023. At the Curtis Secondary School, where Nazabillah, there was this student who ripped Quran. Then on March 31st, 2023, vandalism happened at Tawfiq Islamic Center. April 9th, harassment and vandalism in Montreal Mosque. Then April 9th, again, violent threats at Markham Mosque. So on and so forth. These things keep going on, and there are no legitimate, tangible, feasible actions that are being taken. And as soon as somebody tries to raise voice, we try to hush them down. So please, Thank you for supporting us. Keep raising the voice and make sure you share the video as much as possible, because this is not right. I'm concerned about the well-being of our kids, our generation, our community, and I really hope that at this moment, the kid, who was targeted, profiled, being Muslim, gets the justice. And I hope in future, when something like this happens, we don't push it behind the doors, because the public needs to know. Canadian Pakistani narrative wants to know. We want to know, for the well-being and safety of our children and your children.